Cracker Barrel has worked very hard to acquire the fourth most market share in the restaurant chain industry. They are currently behind DineEquity, which includes IHOP, Darden Brands, which includes Olive Garden, and Bloomin' Brands, which includes Outback Steakhouse. Cracker Barrel owns all of its current 664 locations, while DineEquity has 3,200 franchised locations, and Darden has 1,700 owned locations plus 8 franchised locations. As impressive as this is, Cracker Barrel can improve and sustain its competitive advantage by expanding the number of their locations, maintaining the current percentage of gross margin, and offering healthy menu options in addition to their existing menu to attract new customers. Cracker Barrel is currently investing in opening more Maple Street Biscuit Company locations, which are primarily breakfast and minimally lunch-centric. Cracker Barrel could reallocate some of the funds for expanding the Maple Street Biscuit Company and apply them to expanding the successful and proven restaurant model that Cracker Barrel is. Loyal customers would like Cracker Barrel to be logistically convenient for them, and interstate locations are not necessarily convenient to create daily repeat customers. The motivating function of management includes such activities as developing leaders, managing groups, communicating effectively, and managing organizational change. Effective leadership is strong leadership. It is not about flattery or demagoguery. It is about communication, empathy, rapport, trust, setting the example, elevating employee vision and performance, and building employee personality. Through effective leadership, the entire organization is encouraged to provide recommendations and give suggestions, which leads to company-wide improvements. A strategic option that the leadership at Cracker Barrel should consider that would allow them to capitalize on untapped business opportunities is to begin having locations off of the interstate and in more populated communities. In order to compete directly with DineEquity, Darden, and Bloomin' Brand restaurants, Cracker Barrel needs to offer beer, wine, and cocktails, which it has recently done, but they also need to compete for the same clientele that frequent DineEquity, Darden, and Bloomin' Brand restaurants. In order to compete, they need to be located near those restaurants. The interstate locations are fine to attract travelers, but that business model, although successful, has its limitations. The expanded locations need to be distributed accordingly between additional interstate locations west of the Mississippi and additional locations in current markets where Cracker Barrel has its highest revenues. The new locations in current markets need to be strategically located near existing DineEquity, Darden, and Bloomin' Brand restaurants in order to take market share from them. This will allow Cracker Barrel to compete head-to-head with Applebee's, Olive Garden, Outback Steakhouse, Carrabba's, and IHOP. These restaurants are all family-friendly, which is who Cracker Barrel is at its core. So strategically placing new locations in populated areas near malls and retail shopping will allow Cracker Barrel to tap into the restaurant market share, as well as competing with the surrounding retail businesses that they are not currently taking advantage of. The industry-specific resources I used to inform the development of my strategic case analysis and my prior suggestions were the Cracker Barrel, DineEquity, and Darden annual reports and financial statements, industry reports and analysis from IBISWorld, and the case study from the academic textbook Strategic Management, Concepts and Cases, a Competitive Advantage Approach. These resources provided me with the data necessary to create IFE, EFE, CPM, IE, SPACE, and grand matrices, SWOT analysis, QSPM, perceptual map, projected financial statements, company valuation, EPS, EBIT, retained earnings, and ratios in order to conduct a strategic analysis of Cracker Barrel.